Welcome back, tennis fans. Another GTL news, and it is semi-final time in Monte Carlo. We've not covered as many streams as we'd hope, but we're going to try and bring you some as soon as possible. Let's get into the semi-finals, and these are the players who was able to come through in their respective quarterfinals yesterday. So Davidovich Fokina, the guy who beat Novak Djokovic, he's on fire right now. Defeated Fritz in 3 sets, 2 hours, 25 minutes. We had Dimitrov defeating Hurkacz, 2 hours, 27 minutes. Zverev defeating Sinner. That was a really good match. That was over 3 hours, that one. So some really long matches. And of course, Tsitsipas Schwartzman, probably the pick of the bunch, if I'm honest. It was a fantastic match. I thought Schwartzman had it in the bag. He was my prediction to win that one, but it looks like Ben sort of just trumped me. He went Tsitsipas. It happened, and it was an amazing match. It really was. And Tsitsipas on the clay is looking really comfortable. But saying all of that, I'm going to start with Davidovich Fokina. I think that has really been the story of the week. So you can see the matchups here. Fokina, Dimitrov, Tsitsipas, Zverev on the other side. And like I said, let's start with Fokina, Dimitrov. So the first place to start is the head-to-head. Davidovich Fokina leads the head-to-head. They played one time before and he beat him. That was last year in Rome. And the score was 6-4, 7-6. So a tie-break to end it. Round of 64 on the clay courts of Rome. So Davidovich Fokina has that one in the bag. But does it mean too much? Really? We know what Dimitrov is like. He's the type of player who has just one event a year where he's incredible. And Scott sums it up brilliantly. I really like this tweet. He said, I respect Grigor Dimitrov's commitment to coming up with his best tennis at one singular random event every season. And I mean, it is random. You don't know when it's going to happen. But Grigor Dimitrov on his day is a world beater. It just, when he feels like it, he can turn it on. And that's why it's very difficult to make predictions with Grigor Dimitrov playing well, because really he can beat anyone. And the next tournament, he could go out to anyone as well. So it is a funny story. So that's why I wouldn't really read into the head-to-head too much. But like I said, Fokina did beat him. Fokina's been playing extremely well. He beat Djokovic. He's beaten Taylor Fritz now. The guy who won Indian Wells, beating Rafa in the final. So some really in-form players he's been able to beat. Maybe not so much Djokovic, but it doesn't really need much of an introduction. And yeah, he's been diving around. He's been diving around, enjoying the clay. He's the guy who can't stand on his feet. He's even fallen over after the matches. I see him falling into one of the green screens. And this tweet's quite funny. So Foki was on the verge of finishing the match without a dive. Then the very last game, this happened. He just simply couldn't help himself. He had to get himself dirty. And it's quite funny because he was laughing about the prospect of him always sort of diving to the ground. Here we go. The Monte Carlo laundry service. Every time Davidovich Fokina comes in, there's just a photo of him. And yeah, he was in good spirits. He did laugh to this tweet as well. So I think he knows he's got a bit of a name on the tour at the moment. This next one just talks about his journey. So last year, retires first Masters 1000 quarterfinal. 2022, reaches the first Masters semi-final. So he's always improving. Can he reach the final? I guess I've got to give my prediction. I actually think he is going to beat Dimitrov. I think it's going to be a really close match. Dimitrov, like I've already said, if he does play very well, I don't think anyone beats him. He probably wins this whole event. I'm going to put that out there. If Dimitrov is really feeling himself, and this is that one event which he's going for this year, he wins the whole thing. I just have a really weird feeling. But for the sake of this preview, I'm going to follow my heart, and I'm going to go for Fokina to win in another 3 sets. Moving on to the next one, you got Alex here saying the story of the tennis season 2022 so far. Spain rules. Yeah, we've got Nadal, 21 at Australian Open. Alcaraz on fire. Fokina, now in his first Masters semi-final. I mean, Spanish tennis is really on the up. What an exciting time. And you've also got some success there for Bautista Agut winning Doha. And some sort of highs from Ramos, Vinolas, Busta and Martinez. I don't think Busta's at his high, but certainly Ramos and Martinez have been playing very well as well. And look at Martinez go, 23 in the world now. I didn't even realise. Let's move on to the other semi-final. So the two more experienced players at this level, and you can see they've played each other 9 times in the past. And I'm talking about Stefanos Tsitsipas, Alex Zverev. Tsitsipas won the event last year. He is arguably one of the best clay court players in the world right now. You've got Rafa at the top, Tsitsipas right there. He is really good. Last year, got to Roland Garros final, so close, 2 sets up against Djokovic, couldn't hold on. And against Zverev, out of the 9 meetings they've had in the past, I think the clay court one, so you've got Roland Garros last year, he was able to beat him, Tsitsipas. And then also you've got one in Madrid, which obviously with the altitude, you think that would favour Zverev a little bit more. But even Tsitsipas was able to come through that. So on the clay courts, Tsitsipas doesn't lose to Zverev. Are we going to see the same again? I think we are. I think Tsitsipas is really, really looking good. And the way he's been playing is remarkable. And cue this photo, because this is some of the most famous dives of Tsitsipas. I think we've seen another one added to the collection. It was to set up match point against Diego Schwartzman, and it was phenomenal. I've seen so much reaction online, which is exactly what we need in a time like this. People talking about the great shots of the tennis and not all of the sort of misdemeanor and misconduct on the court. We're actually talking about the good shots for a change, which is nice to see. And it was a fantastic shot. Diego Schwartzman against 95% of other opposition. That's a winner, but not against Tsitsipas. And we may even see a big dive-in finale. Could we be seeing Tsitsipas Fokina in the final? I'm going for the big dive-in final. Tom Daley would be proud. Mo Salah would be proud. It could be a special one. I think Tsitsipas does beat him. I think it's going to be straight sets as well. I think Zverev's not going to get through. And the reason I put a lot of this to is the fact that Zverev is not as good on the clay as Tsitsipas. He just seems to be the best. He's not beaten him on clay before. And then the crowd. I want to bring the crowd factor into it. Zverev's been receiving a lot of booing from the crowd. He's not a popular player on tour right now. And I think that could sort of get under his skin a little bit in a semi-final of a Masters. But that's my predictions. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you make of these semi-finals? Who do you have going to the final? And of course, who do you have winning? Make sure to join us for some watch-alongs. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you very soon.